At around 12:50 at night, an unknown guy's wife advises him not to panic, as his fever may worsen, and reassures him that her sister's house is safe. She also tells him that there are no ghosts, and when a person dies, they enter a permanent sleep, comforting him to rest. She sleeps in the next room with her sister and daughter. While attempting to sleep, he hears a sound of clattering dishes. Overwhelmed with fear, he cautiously investigates. He calls out his wife's name to check if she's in the kitchen making the noise. Suddenly, he sees something that terrifies him, causing him to fall to the ground and struggle to breathe. Upon hearing his voice, his wife and her sister rush out of their bedroom to see him. Within a few minutes, he loses his breath due to a panic attack. People are enjoying their breakfast at a housewarming function. Young boys and girls are taking selfies, while aunties gossip with their friends and relatives, shouting at kids not to run while playing. In the kitchen, Anita checks the food items to ensure there's enough for everyone. She asks her daughter, Reena, about her father. Anita's husband and Reena's father, Mr. Sibin, is doing pull-ups before his friends and relatives in balcony. He fails on the next rep and says he can only do 15. His friend, Prakash, teases him, saying that even though he's a police officer, he can only manage 2 or 3 reps. Everyone laughs. Sibin then asks Mr. Ravi about his exploration of an old ship, to which Ravi replies that it's still in progress. Another guy asks Sibin about the second jewelry showroom he opened a few days back in Chennai. This led Sibin to buy a new house and relocate from Kochi, as Sibin's house is on the outskirts of the city. Prakash suggests that he should add one more security guy for safety. The party eventually comes to an end. Sibin's daughter, Reena, feels sad as everyone leaves. Sibin consoles her, assuring her that they can invite them to her upcoming birthday, which is just a couple of months away. Sibin arrives at his jewelry shop in his Lamborghini Urus. In his office room, Sibin instructs his manager not to allow MLA RKS to enter the shop as he owes to lakhs for his past purchases. He emphasizes the importance of informing him when RKS arrives so that he can take proper measures. The manager then reveals that a smuggling team is supplying gold to many jewelry shops, helping them to sell jewels at lower prices. Sibin responds, stating that it's a crooked way of doing business and asserts that it won't last long. He suggests to give their best to sell at a reasonable price. Sibin returns home at 11 p.m. along with his personal manager, Charlie. Anita informs Sibin that Reena is angry with him because he is too busy with business and comes home late. Charlie hands over Sibin's briefcase to Anita and a lunch bag to the maid before leaving the house. Sibin apologizes to Reena for his actions. Reena expresses her desire to explore the city, stating that Sibin should take her to all the places. She suggests that even without going to the shop, Sibin can run the business as he did in Kochi, so he should accompany her everywhere. Reena also asks him to take her to all the restaurants and food streets in Chennai during her summer holidays. In response, Sibin teases her by saying that soon she have a big belly like her grandfather. Rina laughs at it. While Sibin is brushing his teeth, Rina asks him if she can swim in the swimming pool by lowering the water level. Anita mentions that the water needs to be changed since they don't know the last date. It was cleaned before they bought the house, emphasizing the presence of bacteria and germs. Sibin reassures Rina that he'll make the pool ready in a couple of days and calls Charlie to take care of the cleaning process. Anita comments that when Sibin's daughter asked, he made it ready immediately and even cancelled business appointments for an outing, highlighting his biased love for his daughter. She adds that if she had asked, it wouldn't have happened, as he seems to be concerned only about his daughter. She kicks a ball toward him and moves away. As per Rina's wish, Sibin, along with his wife and daughter, visits all the places in Chennai. They cover all the restaurants and food streets. After having dinner in a food street in their area, while walking in the parking lot, Rina walks ahead with another girl child whom she met a few minutes back. That child's parents are coming behind Rina's parents. At that moment, a car speeds uncontrollably towards the kids. Sibin steps forward and saves them. The car comes to a stop near the parking area, and a drunk man, around 60 years old, emerges from it. Sibin and the other child's father, Saravanan, confront him and slap him. The drunk man fights back, and a few people intervene to separate them. While going, the drunk man takes a photo of Sibin and Saravanan on his phone and threatens that they will die soon. Sibin warns him that if he sees him behaving similarly again, he should be prepared to go to jail. During this altercation, a person named Conan, who owns a restaurant in the food street, intervenes and pleads with them to stop the confrontation. He takes Sibin and Saravanan a few steps away from their families and reveals more information about the drunk man. Conan reveals that the drunk guy's name is Narayanan, who used to be a doctor in a foreign country until 10 years ago. He left his job and returned here following his wife's death. Additionally, he lost his adopted son a few years back, who committed suicide due to a failed love affair. Out of depression, Narayanan drinks heavily and behaves erratically. The troubling part is that whoever gets into a fight with him dies within 6 days. Sibin and Saravanan are shocked upon hearing this revelation. Conan explains that Narayanan's son's spirit haunts all those who have quarreled with him. The victim will first witness the ghost at a certain distance, gradually drawing closer until the 6th day. Upon seeing the ghost, the victim will experience a panic attack, or leading to high fever, diarrhea, and even suicide out of fear. Hearing this, both Sibin and Saravanan break into a sweat. Conan advises them to leave the area and live far away, as there may be a chance for them to escape this fate. In the car, Anita asks about the conversation they had with Conan. Sibin convinces her by saying that the drunk guy Narayanan has some political background, so Conan warned them to stay safe. Rina expresses her fear after this incident. Sibin consoles her, telling her not to worry. Sibin, without sleep, thinks about the problem he is entangled in. Sibin calls Prakash and explains the situation. Prakash gets shocked. Sibin asks him to inquire and bring details about Dr. Narayanan and his family. Prakash consoles him, saying that it might be a rumor and nothing will happen to him. Sibin at night, while returning from his jewelry shop with his driver, the car stops at a signal near his area. When he looks through his car window, he witnesses a strange, terrifying figure standing on top of a building. Sibin's heartbeat races out of fear. It's happening just like Kanan said. His car moves some distance and stops again at the same signal. When he checks through the window again, he sees the haunted figure on another building facing towards him. He becomes terrified. After reaching home, he tells Anita that he has a headache and goes to bed. He finds it very difficult to sleep the whole night. In the morning around 9:30, Anita, while working with her maid in the kitchen, tells Reena not to disturb her father as he is sleeping due to a headache. It's 11 a.m. and Sibin is still in bed without any movement. When Reena unknowingly drops her crayon box, Sibin wakes up in a panic. Ah! Seeing this, Reena runs away and brings her mum. Sibin explains his wife that it was just a nightmare. Sibin calls Prakash and shares what he saw yesterday. His countdown towards death has started. Prakash is shocked to hear it. He says he's inquiring with all the victims' families using a few policemen and guarantees that he'll update the victim details in the evening. Prakash consoles him, saying that there should be a way to get out of it. He also gives Dr. Monika's number, who is Prakash's relative, to help him overcome his fear and get proper sleep. Sibin meets Dr. Monika. She gives him 5 loaded injections, which have the ability to keep his heart out of fear and beat at a normal rate. They also have the ability to give him a good sleep. She asks him to self-inject them before going to sleep. She guarantees that she do her best to help him out of the situation. Sibin receives a call from Prakash in the evening. Prakash says that there are around 5 victims who have died after having a fight or argument with the doctor. One woman scolded the doctor, shouting whether he was mad, while she was at a traffic signal. As he hit her two-wheeler a bit, she died after a couple of days. One guy continuously honked his car horn for leaving away as he was in an emergency. He died in a few days. One bank employee shouted before the doctor's house for paying the interest. In this list, 2 people are strangled to death on the 6th day by the evil spirit. In that case, the woman victim's death was reported to the police station, and they arrested a neighborhood man who was supposed to kill the woman as he stalked her for a week. But people are saying the death was caused by the doctor's ghost son. The doctor has no complaints against him at the police station. Even policemen are afraid to inquire about any victim's death. Many people in this area know the doctor and are afraid just hearing his name. Prakash asks Sibin why he can't stay somewhere until the 6th day. Sibin feels okay with that plan and he says he will implement it by tomorrow. At night, Sibin returns home from his shop. With fear, he checks the building top where he witnessed the evil figure on day 1. As he couldn't see anything, he checks other buildings, but he doesn't find anything. Before reaching his house a few streets back, the driver stops the car in a 4-street junction. He says that the telephone wire is hanging down, blocking the road, and he needs to clear it to move aside, while the driver is clearing it. Sibin looks through his car window and finds the ghost figure standing in the middle of the street at a distance of 30 feet. His heart starts pumping rapidly. Within a few seconds, the driver, after clearing the telephone wire, gets into the car, and they start moving. At home, on seeing Sibin with sweat and a dull face, Anita asks the reason. He says that he's not feeling well. He tries his best to make his wife believe what he says. Before sleeping, without the knowledge of his wife and daughter, he uses the loaded injection in the bathroom, which Dr. Monica gave him back. After the injection, in a few minutes, his heart returns to normal and he sleeps normally with his family. Sibin is sitting at the laptop and browsing something. Anita asks why he is busy even in the morning. Sibin says he is planning for a vacation and he's checking on hotels. Anita becomes happy after hearing this. She lovingly kisses her husband and goes to convey this surprise to Reena. During this, he gets a call from Prakash. He says that Saravanan, who had a fight along with Sibin against the doctor, died after witnessing the same ghost. He had fits and died, while his family took him to the hospital during yesterday night, he says. He also says this happened in Munna. For the past 2 days, Saravanan stayed at his father-in-law's house to get out of this issue. But nothing has changed his path towards death. Saying this, Prakash fears that Sibin will die soon.